Self-esteem. We all have a self-esteem. What I figured out is that most of our self-esteems, they stink. They stink. Mine was especially bad. Started when I was a kid. I had a really tough puberty session and two very insecure parents, which meant that they weren't very happy with the fact that I didn't look too pretty. I'm being honest. And it's not that they intentionally set out to make me feel bad. I don't want to portray it that way. I don't think they did. But their self-esteem affected my self-esteem. My dad, in order to feel better about the situation, used to introduce me and my sister as the Lee sisters, Ugg and Home, when we were going through puberty. Yep. If you haven't figured it out, that's ugly and homely. And the thing is, I knew my dad loved me, but yet his insecurity about my looks read to me that I was less than, that I was ugly. Still to this day, you hear me joke about how ugly I was in puberty. I had all the makings of ugly. I was overweight. I had thick plastic glasses. I didn't care about how I looked because I felt ugly. I had acne. I had people pick on me in middle school. You know how it goes, you know. Well, it just factored into my future. You know, I didn't date in high school because I assumed I was ugly. You know, I saw myself that way. So I avoided guys, and when I put myself out there, I got rejected. So on top of that, when I finally met a guy online and went to meet him, I moved from Maine down to Florida. This was before I was Christian, and I was with him for a few years before he cheated on me with somebody from work. Flat out, husband comes to the door, knocks my boyfriend out type of way of finding out. So that didn't do a lot for my self-esteem either. Fast forward to the next guy that I met and loved, which was my first husband. And the fact that his bipolar made him verbally abusive. And I don't know if it was bipolar or bipolar mixed with narcissism or what was going on there. There were just issues. And I kept trying to help him. Not only to help him, but to help me. But it didn't work, and his verbal abuse got really bad. I was called fat, ugly, lazy, good for nothing. Every swear word in the book you can think of. Any bad thing you can think of ever being called, or any bad thing you would expect to never call somebody else, I had been called that by my ex-husband. So add that then to the fact that my next husband was addicted to drugs, and I was never quite sure if he loved the drugs or he loved me. Add all that together, and you get one totally messed up self-esteem. You really do. And God has been trying to work on my self-esteem for a really long time. And see, self-esteem is tied to so much. You know, you won't approach other people. You won't open your heart to them. You won't make them feel loved or special if your self-esteem stinks. So God's had to work on that for me. He's had to get me to a place where I'm willing to share my testimonies with you like I am right now. You know how much self-esteem it takes to videotape yourself and put yourself online and put yourself out there like that? It takes a lot. But I will tell you that I've realized some things that I want to share with you, okay? The first is that God made you special. And I know you hear this in Christian stories and everything, but I really want you to let this sink in. God made you special. And guess what? He gave you that acne you might have gone through as a kid. He gave you the predisposition to be overweight. Granted, part of that happens because we sin and eat too much, etc. Or don't exercise. But part of that too is a predisposition. I mean, God loves you no matter what you look like. I mean, that's the brunt of it all. God loves you no matter what you look like. And I found that if you just love other people love you no matter what you look like. I mean, it's true. We're so worried about what we look like or what we can do, how much money we make, how many big items we have, how we compare to this person or that person. And guess what? None of that matters. Do you know what really matters to God is how you treat other people and how much you love Him? I mean, think about if we measured ourselves on those two standards. You know, if you stop measuring yourself based off of what other people think are important, and you started measuring yourself based on what God thought was important, then you would actually, little by little, become a much better person. Because you would be striving to fix those things that really matter instead of trying to go after those things that really don't. And your self-esteem is not going to get any better by people patting you on the back for little accomplishments. Your self-esteem is going to be based off your accomplishments. It's not going to be based off the fact that deep down you believe you're special no matter what you do, where you go, who you're with, what you make, and what you look like. God created you special on the inside. So it really doesn't matter what you do, where you go on the outside. What does matter the most is how you treat other people and how much you love God. And that's why those two are the biggest two commandments to Him. That's why we were created. That's what makes us special. So if you're just doing those right, then I bet you glow. I bet you shine. And if you don't yet, you will. Pretty dang sure of it, because I see it. I see it in everybody who gets to a point where they know and love God. I see it in the testimonies of meetings I walk into. I see it in everybody who gives their own testimony. I see that glow, that love that they share with other people while they're doing it. And that love is way more attractive than anything else I've ever seen. So stop caring what other people think about you, because it really doesn't matter. And I'll tell you what, because God loves you, He'll give you those things you're searching for that you think you have to get by yourself, like a spouse that loves you and appreciates you, or the home, or the this or the that you think you have to be perfect in order to get or to earn. All you really got to do is focus on God and love others. Sounds pretty easy, doesn't it? It's not that easy. No, not at all. It's not that easy. But you can do it. I know you can. If I can get a little bit better every day, anyone can. So, tell yourself today you love you the way you are, because God loves you the way you are. And start trying to be a nice person and let go of what anybody thinks of you. Anyways, love y'all. Bye.